Hey, I'm Cam,
Hey, I'm Landon,
and we're
and
the
we're
Going Merry
Going Merry
podcast.
Podcast. I am so introductions.
Introductions.
Introductions. It's probably important. The people probably need to know who we are. Um, I am a huge One Piece fan. I have played a lot of the games. I've watched the anime. I'm caught up to current anime. I'm caught up to current manga. So, all you manga readers watching this, I know what's up. I know what's going on. I see you. And Cam, well, I'll let Cam introduce himself.
Hey, that's me. So, I have only read up to chapter 250 in the manga, and I've only seen up to Crocodile impaling Luffy in the anime. Fun.
What a way to start.
So, I know a little bit about the start, and I know a little bit sprinkled in between. So we figured this would be a good kind of basis to each throw out our own opinions and views on the series. From one side, yeah, one side's got, he literally knows basically everything about it, and then I know like two tiny little details about things. And that's
With what
the
your
vibe.
tiny squirrel brain can contain.
Alright,
Well,
and
yeah.
so today we're going to set sail and talk about the first 7 chapters of One Piece, the Romance Dawn arc.
Yeah. And I honestly love the way the series opens up. It is it both sets the weird serious tone that One Piece manages to continue, but also starts off with the just goofiness that you will come to know and love.
Oh yeah.
Like, just the opening words alone. Wealth, fame, power. Once there was a man who took everything in this world. Pirate King, Gold Roger. Beautiful. And so, which, weird thing about the manga, and it doesn't happen until a flashback, but in the opening panels, he just says, "My treasure, if you want it, you can have it. Search for it, I left everything in the world there."
Yeah, he doesn't
And-
say the thing.
Yeah. Like, he doesn't get asked by a random goon in the crowd, and I can't remember off the top of my head if that's just an anime thing.
I think it's the
or if that
anime thing, because I remember
happens
in
in
the intro he says
flashback.
One Piece.
Yeah. But, and then, we get the beautiful color spread, and Nami's here for some reason. I pointed that out. Nami's just fucking here. I don't know why. She doesn't show up till fucking like chapter 8, I think.
Yeah, Zoro's
And-
not in the chapter 1 spread.
Yeah, and he's in the first arc.
It's Luffy, Shanks' crew, and Shanks,
Yep.
and then Nami right in the middle. Even though we're like,
Yeah.
who's this random woman?
Yeah. Which, would you like to know the names of Shanks' crew members?
Of course.
Cut this out, I have to Google.
So, our major characters introduced in chapter 1 is, of course, the protag, Monkey D. Luffy. I don't know if it's said later on and I just missed it, but the village that they live in, I don't know the name for it, if it has a name.
I think it does. I know we find out the name later.
Oh, I think it's called the East Wind? Something?
Maybe. No, it's okay because also we're reading the colored versions just because the translations are a bit different between that and the official, and we like looking at colors. So deal with it.
Please don't hurt me.
Deal with it.
I like raw art. It's really good, but this is also the easiest way to view it without having to pay money for it. Not saying I
Yeah.
wouldn't pay money for it, but
We're just goons. We're just goons who, like a lot of people, just read it on the internet because I don't know if you looked at how much the first box set of One Piece is, but it's a lot.
I would buy the One Piece manga, of course, to support it because it's a nice series that makes my man, the author, makes 3.1 billion yen a year, so it has
Yeah,
to
we
be
found that
doing something right.
Yeah. But So in the like officials, it's here in a small seaport village. About 1 year ago, a pirate, instead of a pirate ship landed here, I think it says like a pirate crew made this town their base. And instead of just the east wind, it's the east wind blows. So it's saying like the wind's blowing from the east because they're in the east blue.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. But so the name of Luffy's crew, Shanks. I mean, not Shanks' crew. Shanks, obviously. Ben Beckman is the dude who absolutely destroys the mountain bandits in this chapter.
The dude, the chunky man with the gun?
No, that's Lucky.
Okay.
That's Lucky Roo.
The tall, skinny guy, then.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one smoking who tells Luffy not to freaking be mad at Shanks for just taking punches. Yasop, and I think those are the only 4 we see in this chapter. But they have a monkey, literally named Monster. They have a pet monkey named Monster.
Okay, so the first chapter starts out Gold Roger's execution, which he's like the biggest, greatest pirate of that age, which we don't learn a lot about in I don't know how many chapters, but he's just introduced. He's just there to kick off the Great Pirate Age. I know, like, he's extremely important to the series, but like for this arc, he doesn't. They don't even talk about him.
We learn bits and pieces. I think the next, if memory serves correctly, the next big info drop about Gold Roger himself isn't until Marineford. And then we don't get anything else until Wano.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so practically the whole series. But yeah.
So we're introduced to Luffy, and then my man, red-haired Shanks.
Yep. And can we talk about how the first time we see Luffy do anything, he just stabs himself in the face.
Yeah, so apparently he's just like every day he just walks out and is trying to come up with some like kooky scheme to join Shanks' crew.
Because he wants to go out to sea. He wants to be a pirate.
Yeah. And then they're all like, haha, yeah, do it, Luffy, what are you gonna do? And he just takes a knife and stabs himself under the eye.
And that's how Luffy got his scar.
Yep.
And they all freak out, and it's honestly hilarious. Like, it really sets a funny tone, because it immediately cuts to them just cutting up in a bar, having a good time, laughing, doing pirate shenanigans, partying the day away.
Oh, yeah.
And Luffy's literally out here like, it didn't hurt, as he's crying. With Shanks screaming at him, calling him a liar. Don't do anything so stupid again.
And then one thing I noticed that Shanks immediately points out is that he's like, you can't handle being a pirate. Not being able to swim is a pirate's greatest weakness. Which I never like caught that Luffy just didn't know how to swim.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, because, you know, he immediately eats a devil fruit.
Yeah, so, you know, can't really swim anyway.
Yeah. And one of the things about One Piece that, personally, I don't think gets talked about enough is, especially early One Piece, is how a lot of the rest of the world knows what devil fruits are, but doesn't know what devil fruits are, if that makes sense.
So they know they're like this, like a curse, basically. That gives you like, you're really super strong, but you can literally be like anything, and you also can't swim.
Yeah. Because it's not until like we get into the Grand Line where devil fruit users just become commonplace enemies.
Yeah.
Right. Which I wouldn't like be like, oh, the Grand Line's not that far away. But in the grand scheme of things, let's look at the freaking thing here. Reverse Mountain is chapter 101.
Yeah, they don't get in the Grand Line for like a while.
Yeah. Like, nutty. But yeah. One of my personal favorite details about like the early chapters, especially chapter 1, is Luffy like, my punch is as strong as a pistol.
Oh yeah.
Gomu Gomu, no pistol.
Oh yeah, that's how he. I made a note of that. That's how he ended. That's how the chapter ends. Is he just punches, punches a giant sea creature.
Yeah, which I'll have something to talk about once we get to the end of chapter 1.
Yeah. Okay. So
about that.
after they're all having good fun time, some dude boots in the door of the bar they're in, and he's just like this weird long faced dude. They're just bandits.
Which in the in between, we get Shanks talking to Luffy about like how you're not tough enough to be a pirate, you can't swim, you're just a kid. Don't be mad, here, drink some juice. Immediately fucking goons him. Immediately. And so Luffy actually goes and has a conversation with Ben Beckman. And he's like, he's our leader, he has to know being a pirate, yada yada yada. Pirate's life is hard. And one of my favorite throwaway lines is, well, one, Luffy also is like talking to him about how long you're gonna stay. We'll be leaving soon. But in that little section where Luffy's trying to convince Shanks to let him go out to sea with him, one of my favorite throwaway lines is the crew is like, yeah, Captain, let him come with us. And Shanks goes, okay, but one of you's gonna have to stay behind. And they all say no. They all immediately just sell Luffy out.
I like the one where he goes, where Ben Beckman's like, do you understand? He doesn't purposely tease you for wanting to be a pirate. And then, like, it cuts to him, he's just laughing, he goes, ha, can't swim.
That, dude, I don't know what it is about One Piece and just having, like, the fucking insults, Three Sword style.
And then he's like, yep, making fun of him is my joy. I'm like, aw.
And so, Makio, the barkeep, comes by, talks to them, and that's when Luffy has the line that you sent me something about earlier of, I'm definitely going to be pirate. I'll pay her with the treasure I find. Because Shanks is like, you gotta fucking pay for this?
Alright, but then, yeah, so as soon as the happy times are rolling, so bunch of bandits kick in the door. There's some dude, some like straight early jobber. Yeah, his name's Higuma. Yeah.
Literally, actually just here to get jobbed. So
he comes in and he's like, oh, so these are what a bunch of pirates look like. He's like, we're not here to cause you trouble. We just want to buy 10 barrels of sake or beer, whichever one you're eating. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. And Mike is like, oh, we're out. I'm sorry. What do you mean you're out? They bought it. And Shanks literally offers this man a glass.
Yeah.
The last bottle. Man a bottle. Yep. The last bottle. And this goon ass.
The dude feeling himself right now.
Feeling himself. Pulls up the red hair Shanks and just smashes the bottle across his face. Just makes a mess. And freaking Shanks. Like, and he shows off his bounty too. Like, trying to impress Shanks over here.
So real quick, the anime shows this, but the manga doesn't. I know in the anime it shows, like, while this is right before he busts in, Luffy is like rummaging around and finds this little chest that has the devil fruit in it. But in the manga, it just straight up shows like a side panel of him. He was just eating bread, and the next time we see Luffy, he's got this weird purple thing eating in his mouth.
Yep. But I also love how Shanks' answer is to like no sell and just be like, hey, I'm gonna clean this shit up now.
Yeah, he goes.
Even Makio was like, you don't gotta do that, bro.
So he's like, he smashes him in the face with the bottle, and he's like, who do you think I am? One bottle's not enough. And then Shanks just is like, oh no, now the floor is all wet. Like, his first response wasn't going, hey, why'd you bust it in my face? He's like, oh, man, we gotta clean this up now. He's
like, legitimately, let me find it. He literally goes, sorry about that, Makino. Do you have a mop? and she's like, bro, you ain't gotta clean shit.
And then the Haguma guy's like, I'm worth 8 million belly, blah, 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 blah. I'm the prime fugitive here. I've
It's only
killed
8,000.
I've
This man's
killed
bounty is only 8,000.
blank amount of people, and the guy's just like Shanks is just scooping up the glass pieces.
Yeah. Smashes the rest of the freaking glassware up, making a bigger mess. And literally, the disrespect is just like, you seem to like cleaning, so you can do it more.
And then he walks out calling them a bunch of chickens.
Yeah. Even calls the town pathetic. Everyone, so Maki, the bartender, because my brain's not functioning, is like, Shanks, are you good? Shanks like, I'm fine. And Shanks' crew just starts fucking laughing at him.
Like our captain looked so silly. Ha ha ha.
Yep.
And then Luffy goes ballistic.
Luffy's
They're
like,
all
why
just
are you
laughing.
He's like, calls him disgraceful that you didn't want to fight him. So what, do they have more people? Who laughs after getting picked on? You're not a man and not a pirate either. And
Shanks is shook.
So, Shanks is like, what? Like, Shanks even says, it's just a bottle of sake. It's not anything to get worked up about. And he's like, come on, don't go, Luffy. Grabs Luffy's arm, and then we get the scene of Luffy going to storm off, and his arm just stretches. And the entire bar freaks out.
Yeah, and then it's revealed, then they start talking about devil fruits, which is like the big, it's not like, I mean, I guess it's like the major power system of the show and the manga.
Yeah.
But like, it's not the only one, but for a while it's like the thing.
It is definitely the thing for the majority of it, yeah.
So everybody's like, "What? Why is his arm stretching?" And then Luffy goes, "Ah!"
Yeah, and Lucky Roo notices that the rubber fruit we took from the enemy is gone. I don't know where this man got a pen and a notebook, but drew a perfect illustration of the Gomu Gomu no Mi. And I love how Luffy was like, wasn't that dessert? It tasted horrible, by the way. Like,
and then Shanks gets on Luffy's face and he's like, that's the rubber fruit. It's one of the, it's a fruits, quote, fruits of the devil, and one of the rarest treasures in the sea. And basically tells him that
he's a rubber man now.
Yeah, and he can't swim. Well, he will never be able to swim.
Yeah, couldn't swim before, can't swim now. So it cuts. Luffy, and I quote, is going to the fish store.
The fish store.
Dude, I'm gonna quote Luffy here. I want to buy some fish, Mr. Storekeeper.
Mr. NPC.
Mr. NPC.
Yeah. So basically what happens is just, it's a hard cut. We assume it's either a different day or maybe later in the day. And then it's just Luffy by himself doing what he do. And then he pulls up back to the bar they were at. And then the goons come back again. Friggin' Higuma.
Don't forget the mayor literally tells him, you're just gonna bring destruction to this town and give it a bad name if you go be a pirate, Mr. Old Mayor head ass.
I literally forgot.
Literally wearing a bucket hat. It looks like a lampshade.
It does.
Dude's just wearing a lampshade. Shoutouts to the coordinated outfit though. I actually didn't notice that his pants were the same stripes as his hat. And so Luffy's talking to the barkeep, and he's like, I overestimated Shanks. I thought he was a tough pirate. What a disappointment. And she was like, she even says, people who could laugh it off after getting picked on are pretty brave.
Oh yeah, that's a good quote right there.
Oh yeah. And so Goon Man Mountain Bandit walks in, wants some sake, and so it like hard cuts to random NPC running into the mayor's office going, help! Oh, it's Makino. She's just in a different bartender. Outfit. Yeah, she was just, her outfit was different.
And that's so, why I was like, the next couple scenes are just Luffy getting absolutely beaten up by this guy.
Yeah.
And he's basically just like commenting on how now he's just a rubber man.
Yeah. Who would have thought such a thing exists in this world?
And then he's
Bro,
just
this scene of Luffy getting yeeted by his cheek is hilarious to me. Like, there's just a panel of Luffy getting slung by his cheek, and it cracks me up. I like how this Mountains Bandit's first thought for this Rubber Man, he's also asking him to apologize for what we haven't been told yet. But I love how this Mountain Bandit's first thought is, if I sell him to a circus, I could make bank. Luffy comes at him with a stick, gets absolutely beat up. And so, Mayor rolls up, gets down on his hands and knees, is begging the Mountain Bandit not to kill Luffy, not to do anything. He'll pay him off. And Mountain Bandit says, nah, fuck this. I'm gonna just beat him up.
he says, "I'm not gonna sell you. I'll kill you instead."
Also, Luffy, and I quote, calls this man a wild baboon.
Baboon.
Baboon. And so he goes, fine, I'm not gonna sell you, I'm gonna kill you. Luffy, please let him go. Shanks pulls up like a unit. I was wondering why no one welcomed us at port, so this is why. Literally not giving any credit to the Mountain Bandit. Looks directly at Luffy and goes, why are you on the ground? I thought your punch was as strong as a pistol. And so Mountain Bandit's like, I suggest leaving right now. And then we get the scene. The scene that I think lives in a lot of One Piece's fans' heads. Because it was this moment of, oh shit. Of Mountain Bandit Goon points a gun at Shanks' head. Shanks literally goes, I said don't use these to scare people. Is Lucky Roo blasts this man's brains across the floor. And then the people standing in front of you are pirates. And then we get a really cool panel of Shanks being angry, going, I don't care what reasons you have, I won't forgive anyone who messes with my friends.
Oh yeah.
And then sad Luffy. A bunch of pirates want to challenge us, we'll destroy you. The Mountain Bandit's talking all that shit. Ben Beckman over here literally goes, I got this. Captain, you don't got this.
My man shoves a cigarette into this dude's face and then slaps them with his gun.
I don't think he fired a single bullet.
He didn't.
He just... So, like, we get this little cutaway of a bunch of kanji of just action going on, and then it cuts back to Ben Beckman pointing this... Can we talk about how oddly shaped this gun is, by the way?
It looks like it's just a really long pistol.
It does.
It's like it was supposed to be a rifle. It was just drawn.
It looks...
I don't know.
It looks like a sawed-off shotgun, but if you sawed off the hilt of the shotgun instead of the barrel. Does that make sense?
It looks like it would slip out of your hands as soon as you tried to shoot it.
I know, right? But
yeah, so they completely demolish the guys, the bandits, and then it's just the
Hiruguma.
Yeah, it's just the captain guy left, and he's like, it's like, wait, no.
Pieces out, throws the smoke bomb, and just dips.
Yeah. And then he also takes Luffy with him, and so in the next scene, it's just him and Luffy on this tiny little boat.
No. I want to point out this panel of Shanks absolutely panicking, going, oh no, we got careless, they took Luffy, what should we do? And then Ben Beckman's just like, our fucking captain, I swear to God. And so yeah, it cuts to the Mountain Bandit and Luffy out in a boat. Luffy's still trying to throw hands, by the way.
He is.
And then, just the most savage thing, this Mountain Bandit doesn't give a fuck. He just kicks him off the boat. Just, get out of here. And then we get the flashback of the Mountain Bandit talking shit about the pirate crew. And Luffy just, even though Luffy was talking all this shit about how Shanks isn't a real pirate, yada yada yada, still stands up for him and is just like screaming about don't underestimate Shanks. He's not a coward. Even though I'm pretty sure Luffy called him a coward like 12 panels ago.
Yeah.
And so it cuts back. Luffy's drowning. We see the Sea King pop up out of the ocean. Literally just eats this man alive.
He goes,
nom 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 nom. Goes to bite Luffy. And boom, who's there to rescue him?
Him. Shanks.
Shanks. Captain of the red-haired pirates.
With the coldest look of just saying, get lost, and scares it.
Which we're going to discuss this, because one of the things you do know about is hockey.
Yeah.
And that's just because... And this is one of the first examples of hockey actually being used, which I don't know if Oda, when writing this, had hockey as like a power thing for later on in the series in his head or not. But I do take this as Shanks just blasting this fucking Sea King with a thing of Conqueror's hockey and just being like, get the fuck out of here. And it says, so he says, get lost. And he goes, thanks, Luffy. Makino told me about everything. Thanks for sticking up for me. And we get this panel of Luffy crying, and Shanks going, hey, don't cry, you're a man, right? But Shanks, and then we get the panel of just Shanks missing his arm.
Oh, yeah. And Luffy's like, your arm! And my man Shanks is just smiling, and his arm's just ripped off and bleeding.
Yeah. And I quote, it's nothing. It's just an arm as long as you're alive. And so Luffy cries into the sky. And we get a little monologue from the almighty narrator that... I don't want to get into a conversation about the narrator. I could go on for hours.
Alright.
You'll understand. Because it's, in short, the narrator is somebody.
Okay.
Like, it's this weird thing with One Piece where everyone kind of thinks like the narrator is somebody who knows, like, because he has all this knowledge, like he's telling us the story. It's weird. We'll make an episode about it. But it's just talking about how like the sea is something you can't control. It's an unpredictable place. And that's why Shanks didn't want to take Luffy with him. And Luffy finally understands how great Shanks is. And he hopes to be just like him in the future. And so, we cut, Luffy and Shanks are talking. It's like, yup, we've stayed here long enough. It's about time we move on. So Shanks is leaving. Luffy deadass is like, I'm upset, but I won't force you to take me along. Because I'm going to be a pirate myself.
Yeah, and then we get the drop where he's like, I'll find myself a crew that's strong as yours, and then I'll find the world's biggest treasure and become the king of the pirates.
Hold on, pause for like 2 seconds. My mom's calling.
Okay.
In the middle of recording the first podcast episode with Cameron.
Dreaming. Don't give it up, Landon. Dreaming. Don't
okay.
give it up, Cameron. Dreaming. Don't give it
like,
up.
Can you bring me home something to eat?
Give it up, give it up, give it up, give it up.
Okay. Love you, bye.
Also, we should probably, like, speed up our summaries of events.
Oh, yeah. So well, it's the first chapter. Yeah. I feel like the first chapter is... We can take the time with the first chapter.
Because we're at 30 minutes, and we've just finished chapter 1.
Yeah, I know. But, so... Anyways, I'm going to clap, and that's the cut. And so, then we get Shanks going, well then, this hat is my gift to you. This is my favorite hat, you know. And God, that scene just hits every time.
Oh, yeah.
Even with Shanks being like, when you become a great pirate in the future, return that hat to me. That kid is going to be big. I know. So they pull up, they set sail, and then boom. Hard cut 10 years later. He finally left, Chief. We're going to miss him. And I love the fucking Chief who's just is like, he's going to ruin this town's reputation. And then, so Luffy's setting sail in his fucking dinghy. Just him and a tiny ass boat. What could go wrong, am I right? And so, Sea King pops up. I've been waiting for you. Gomu Gomu? No pistol! God, I'm looking at this art. I love it.
Oh yeah.
And so, Luffy beats up the Sea King. And he's talking about how he's gonna have to find friends first. I hope I can find at least 10 people. And yeah. So he sets sail, setting out with the goal of becoming king of the pirates. Without any friends, he set sail on a little boat. A long journey has begun.
Yeah.
And that's chapter 1.
That was chapter 1.
Yeah. So any like thoughts, like coming off, like fresh read coming off of chapter 1?
It is a great way to just show off the series. Maybe to introduce it, and then also like the vibe it'll give off.
Oh yeah.
So we've got the comedy's thrown in there. There's fighting. There's also like, these people aren't like heroes. Ben Beckman at one point he like shoots the guy and he's like, "What? We're not saints. What'd you expect?"
Yeah. It's Lucky Roo who just fucking shoots the dude, but yeah.
Oh yeah. So it just reinforces the idea of like pirates, ocean, treasure. They're bad people everywhere. Luffy wants to be a pirate like these guys, but these guys aren't actually like the worst people. They're not like, they're criminals, but they're not awful people.
And at this point, we don't know Luffy's like motivation for wanting to become a pirate, because he was very like clearly set on becoming a pirate before he met Shanks.
Yeah.
But yeah, so on to chapter 2. He's just sailing and gets himself caught in a whirlpool. And he literally is just like having a conversation as he's like sinking. He's like, wait a minute, it doesn't really matter if I know how to swim in a situation like this. Swimming won't save me here. And so all we see is Luffy get sucked into the whirlpool. Chapter 2, that boy, the straw hat wearing Luffy.
Oh yeah.
And so we cut to a remote island. We see a new Jolly Roger and see this lady finding dust on his ship, Alvida.
Alvida, the Iron Mace Alvida is her name. That's what it was. I didn't remember it.
Iron Mace Alvida. And so literally she like immediately punches a guy because there was dust on her ship and she felt disrespected. And then our other best boy, Kobe, is like, she asks him, who's the most beautiful lady in the sea? And he's like, that'll be you. And she just like literally makes Kobe shine her fucking shoes, starts kicking Kobe, and then we get the hard reveal of how fucking ugly this chick is. Like, Oda is so good at just drawing ugly ass fucking characters, dude. Like, and she's like, don't keep cleaning, don't leave any dust behind. So Kobe's like, I'm sorry, yada yada. He walks away, literally finds a barrel washed up.
Oh yeah.
Brings it in some random goons, and they're like, we should drink it, no one will know. And who but our boy Luffy comes busting out of the barrel. Like, can we talk about like, man's answer to a whirlpool was jump in a barrel, and it fucking worked.
It was smart. I'll give Luffy that.
Yeah. But he's like, I thought I was gonna die. And they start freaking out. And then Mace crashes into the building. Luffy just goes rolling down a hill. And they're all talking shit. And she's like, don't play dumb with me. I heard you guys say what a nice nap that was. Because she's like, you're slacking off. And so they immediately blame Kobe. And he's like, he brought a barrel up. It had a dude in it. We don't know what's going on. And so we get this little dialogue of, could it be him? That famous nonsense. I heard that he's still being held captive at the Marines prison. If he's the real thing, he must have escaped by now. That notoriously evil Roronoa Zoro.
I forgot they like name dropped him right here.
But yeah, Alvito like name drops him. And if you look at the panel, like they straight up give him like this like evil ass
Yeah.
freaking outline.
Pointy chin.
Pointy chin, evil grin, head ass. And he goes, and so it hard cuts to Kobe walking up to the barrel, and he's like, I'm good. And so Kobe gives his little backstory of how, well, one, he was like, you were caught in a whirlpool? Yeah, deal with it. And so we see Kobe was building a boat secretly for 2 years, and Luffy, and I quote, calls it a coffin.
What is this? A coffin?
Like, just fucking the disrespect. And he's like, I don't have the guts to run away. You can take it. I get so scared. Yada, yada, yada. He's like, yeah, I was just fishing, but how do you accidentally walk onto a pirate ship?
I don't know.
And he's like, Luffy literally calls him stupid and useless.
You seem kind of wimpy, too. I don't like you.
Yep.
That's like got me.
Just, I don't like you. And then Luffy says the Luffy thing we're gonna hear 1,000 times, and we believe it every time he says it.
Oh, yeah.
I want to become the Pirate King. And Kobe has his little freak out.
Yeah, so this is where
The world's greatest treasure.
yeah, the One Piece is actually dropped for the first time.
Yeah.
In the manga, at least. And so you good.
Quick theory for you. What do you think the One Piece is?
Yes.
Good answer. I like it. I like it.
At this point in time, it could literally be anything.
Yeah. Which
And
Oda,
that's the cool thing. It's just like this legendary pirate left everything he owns in quote One Piece. It could be anything, and that's like good enough for anybody wanting to go get it.
yeah.
So it really doesn't matter what it is.
I'm gonna tell you this to reassure you as a reader, because a lot of people, like, as the series got longer and longer, people were really starting to believe, like, so I can't remember if it was even an interview or an SBS, but people asked, like, is the One Piece a physical object? And Oda was like, yes, it's a physical thing in the world that they will get, and it's not just the whole, it was about the journey the whole time kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, because I didn't know this, I never even had that thought until I like heard about this and I went to go read about it. But like apparently like there was a decent amount of people that were like actually worried that like it was just gonna end up as a like it was the power of
Maybe
friends.
the One Piece was the friends we made,
and you made along the way kind of shenanigans. But yeah, so we get to them talking. Kobe's like, I want to become a Marine. Luffy literally punches him. Like, he's like, Kobe's freaking out, like, impossible, it's impossible, it's impossible, blah, blah, like, you can't become the Pirate King, there's no chance. Luffy just fucking decks this, man. And gives the reason of, because I couldn't stand you.
And then he says, like, it's my dream, I won't mind dying for it. And that, like, that shakes up Kobe.
And that's when Kobe gives like, will I be able to become a Marine? He's like, a Marine. He's like, I know I'll beat enemies, but joining the Marines and catching bad guys has always been my dreams. And I love this. Do you think I can do it? I don't know.
I wouldn't know.
And so he's like, I'll become a Marine, become the best Marine there'll ever be, and I'll arrest Alvito someday. And then Alvito pops up and tries to beat up Kobe with a mace. With the entire crew in the back. And she even looks at Luffy and goes, that's not Roronoa, Zoro.
And Luffy points at her and goes, who's this rude woman?
Rude woman. And then, so Kobe's about to, like, fall back into his little habit of, like, how she makes her whole crew, like, be nice to her. And then just calls her the rudest damn bitch. Like, and Luffy's like, I love this. You little brat, don't get up. I already told myself to fight for my dreams. And she's like, you have to die. And Luffy literally pushes Kobe behind him and just takes the iron mace to the face. It's useless against me because my body is rubber. Which, I want to point out something about this.
Yeah.
I understand it's a mace and its whole thing is blunt force, but it does have spikes on it.
Yeah.
So did she just happen to swing like perfectly where no spikes hit Luffy?
Well, no, we see a spike literally jabbing Luffy in his shoulder right here. Like it also didn't hit him. It hit the hat.
Yeah, true.
So,
but then just little one-shot KO, Gomu Gomu no pistol,
boom,
knocks her out. And like his arms extended, was beaten by that monster, and literally Luffy's like, "Give us a fucking boat."
So he's like, yeah, he wants to be Marine. Get out of his way.
And they're like, yes.
Yeah, they get on the boat. So now they're sailing. And
they're sailing to the Marine base we just heard about, and Luffy's like, if he's a good guy, I'm gonna ask him to join me.
Oh yeah, and then Kobe's like, you mean Roronoa Zoro?
Yeah, and he's like, he's a monster. Can't be sure about that yet. And so they set sail towards the Marine base. And that's a wrap on chapter 2.
Oh yeah.
Let's go to chapter 3.
So that was more of the same. We actually see like the effects of the rubber fruit, where it's not, and I'm gonna like butcher the name of it. I'll call it rubber fruit.
The
gum fruit. I'll say anything. It don't matter.
Take a bite of that gum.
I'm not consistent, but we see the effects of it on his body, like in a combat sort of way, instead of it just being like gag. Like his cheeks are now super long, so now we get the vibe that like Luffy's just, you know, he's like impenetrable. Whoa, his body's made of rubber. That's weird.
Which,
and then you can go.
Continue.
No, you go.
Oh, I was gonna point out something about the first panel of chapter 3.
Oh,
you were still talking about chapter 2.
Well, yeah.
That's what I was like.
This chapter didn't do much, but just introduced Kobe basically. It introduced freaking Alvida, who returns eventually, but the more important character here is Kobe.
Yeah, like it's a lot of this first arc is we meet Luffy, we kind of understand who he is, what he's about, and then we get introduced to both Kobe and Zoro.
Yeah. So majority, I feel like so far in the series, most of the series is just people basically reacting to Luffy being a freaking insane person. But that's really like at the core for this first arc, where it's just Luffy, my man, is an immovable object going in a straight line to do what he has to do, and he just runs into people that are like, what is this?
Yeah. Like there is no, at least in this first arc, there is no like real threat to Luffy. It's kind of a showcase of like what he can do.
Yeah.
Along with introducing characters and Luffy getting his first crew person. But something I want to talk about in the first panel of chapter 3 is Luffy sitting on the like head of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
As you know, because of the going, like that's his spot.
Yeah.
And I like that it's like that still very early on.
He just vibes. It's like the worst place to sit, because if he falls, he's like kind of screwed. But it's also the best way to sit for him, just to see whatever is out in front of him. Because it's neat.
Yeah. And so, panel opens up. They're talking about Roronoa Zoro. Kobe's like, he's a bounty hunter. Rumor says he's a bloodthirsty hound. He wanders the seas, hunts down fugitives, and is a man in monster form. Chapter 3. Pirate Hunter Zoro enters, and we get a really cool image of Luffy riding a shark.
Oh, yeah.
But so they make it to the Marine base. They're like walking through. They go to get food.
Is apparently in a place called Shellstown.
Yes. So they go to get food.
At the food foo.
At the food foo. Kobe's like, if you wander around the sea every time, you'll never become a pirate. Because he's like, Luffy's like, hey, we actually got here. And Kobe's like, yeah, that's called navigation. So they go eat food. And they say Zoro's like, they're like, I wonder if Zoro's still being kept in the Marine base. And the whole place fucking freaks out.
They just panic. There's a dude like flying around. They're all like bunched up against the wall.
Yeah. And so Kobe's like, I guess we can't talk about Zoro. We don't talk about Bruno. No.
And then he's like, I just saw a notice on the streets. There's someone called Captain Morgan at this base. And then it happens again after they've like recovered from this.
Yeah, they set all the tables back up. They're like, we finally go back to eating. Hey, who's this Captain Morgan? Fuck! Insert Taco Bell dong sound effect.
Well, yeah, so they leave, walk around.
Luffy's laughing his ass off. He's like, that's a funny restaurant. We should go there again.
And then Kobe's
just confused.
Like, why would they be named the Marine Captain? He's confused because he wants to be in the Marines, so he's like, why would they be afraid of the good guys? And then they approach the base.
The base. It looks pretty ugly up close. So they climb on the wall, and they're like, Luffy's like, I think I see him. So they run further down, and we get him. I like this first little panel of Zoro, where like you just see his 3 earrings, his slightly green hair, and everything else is just blacked out.
Oh yeah.
So Kobe freaks out after looking over the wall. He's like, that black bandana. Which, fun fact, it used to be green, and I don't know when it changed to black. But Zoro's bandana in a lot of media was green for a while, and then it changed to black.
Is that like an anime-ism kind of thing?
Maybe. Like, I don't know what caused the change, but like, maybe someone in the comments will know. But it straight up used to be green.
Huh.
But yeah, so like
I think that's an anime thing because it always had a green tint to it, but it was like it looked dark, but they always highlighted it with green. I remember that.
Yeah.
I think that's just the
that
anime.
intimidating aura. It's Zoro, and we get the first panel of Zoro just fucking strung up,
man is
hanging out,
oofed,
big oofed. So he's like, so he's Zoro, huh? And Kobe's freaking out because he's like, if you set him free, you'll die. You'll get killed. So I was like, could you please come over here and untie me? I've been tied up for 9 days and I'm exhausted. I'll repay you. I can hunt down a fugitive and give you the rewards. I'm not lying. And so, he can't kill me. Luffy, and I quote, he can't kill me. I'm too strong.
No, he didn't say I'm too strong. He says I'm strong too.
Oh yeah, true.
So that he recognizes this guy is pretty strong. He's up here for a reason, kind of vibe.
Yeah.
Because Luffy only heard of this man through them talking about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't know
just
who he
on
is.
eyesight, Luffy's like, oh yeah, he tough.
And he sees him, he's like, oh yeah, this guy.
Oh yeah, this guy. I like it, Picasso.
All right, and now we're coming up on one of my favorite, probably my absolute favorite part of this arc.
Can we talk about this panel of Kobe? He's really hopeless.
His face, yeah.
His face. I'm sorry, I just wanted to mention that. But so we ladder clinks. This little girl climbs up and shushes him. And you know what? I'll let you talk about it since it's your favorite part.
Yeah. So it shows a little girl climbing over this wall, and she actually gets into the courtyard, which is a Marine base, which Luffy
probably not
Kobe,
a smart idea.
Yeah, they're like, we can't go in there. We're gonna get, they're gonna kill us. And then Zoro's like, what are you doing here? And then Kobe's like, Luffy, go stop her. She can be killed. Luffy just goes, do it yourself.
And
then so
peak comedy.
Zoro's like, do you want to die? Get lost. He's secretly trying to make her not help him. Yeah. So that she doesn't get in trouble for it. And then she's just like, I made rice balls. You haven't eaten right here. This is the first time I made them. And he's like, no, I'm not hungry. I'll kill you if you don't leave.
Yeah.
And then
in walks Butt Chin King himself.
God, I hate this man.
He's so fucking ugly, dog.
So it's the son of the Marine captain, the same one that made everybody freak out. Helmeppo, this dude in this flashy suit and weird boots that
man's got a gold
polka
chain.
dots on it, and his awful bowl cut approaches, and he's like,
"What? That's like a half bowl cut because he has it cut perfectly angled with his dumb ass angular head."
So he comes in, he's like, basically the first words of his mouth are like, "I'll tell my dad on you," basically. So now we know that he's the son of this
rich
dude.
white kid in America.
Yeah, his dad bought him like a
His
freaking
dad's
big
a
old
lawyer.
car, and he's like,
My
he'll
my
get you,
dad's a
blah blah
lawyer.
blah.
my dad's a lawyer, and I'll get you, damn it.
But the worst thing he does is he just like steals the kid's rice ball, and he's like, "These look pretty tasty." And eats it, and he's like, "What?" He's like, "You
You're
put too
not
much sugar in these," and she's like, "But they're better if they taste sweet." And then he just like stomps on them.
Yep. I love the innocence of that little panel of, but I thought they'll taste better if they're sweet. Like, she's just trying to help.
So the worst part, he takes him, stomps him, like literally stomps him into a mud hole in the ground. And he's like, "Haha, the ants will eat them all up." And then she just sobs.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "It's all your fault. Anyone who helps a prisoner will be charged with the same crime," which is so strange.
Which, the logistics of that don't make any sense.
He's like, "You would have gotten the death penalty if you were a grown-up." And he's like, "Oi, throw this brat out." And this man literally picks this child up and throws her out over the wall. Even though they entered through the freaking fence that they just, the door they just opened up to walk in.
I love the first, he goes, "Oi, throw this brat out." And the Marine's like, "Huh?" Like, the Marine was not paying attention. He's like, "I don't want to fucking be here."
They throw her out, and then Luffy catches her.
Yeah.
And then Luffy's like,
It's like, this bitch. So Helmeppo leaves. Luffy hops the wall and goes, "You still haven't left yet?" He'll leave now or he'll go tell his dad. Luffy's basically like, "I don't care. Join my crew."
I like how he says, "Join my crew," and he's like, "Pirate? What? You just gave up on your life and became a crook, huh?"
It's my dream. Which, this is the start of a long-running joke of Luffy asking literally anyone and everyone he thinks is strong to join his crew.
Yep. So,
like, doesn't matter who it is, join my crew.
So, because we forgot to mention it, that Helmeppo was making him, to avoid the death penalty, he's making him sit here hung up on like this stick, this weird makeshift cross for like a month, just to see if he was gonna stay alive for an entire month, he would release him. And Zoro's like, "You better keep your promise," which he wasn't going to.
Yep. So him and Luffy talk, yada yada. He's like, "I'll never join you. I'm gonna do everything I can to stay alive and fulfill my dreams." So they're talking. He's like, So Luffy goes to walk away, and he goes, "Hold on, pick up those rice balls for me." And this absolute unit Zoro eats the muddy, beaten up rice balls and swallows it, and even tells Luffy to tell the girl the rice balls taste very good. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
And it was at this moment Luffy knew Zoro's a good guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So it cuts back to the town. They're talking to the girl, and we find out the reason Zoro's even in this situation is because he killed Helmeppo's pet wolf because this dumbass of a person said, "I'm just gonna let this wolf run loose in the town."
Yep. Which, you were probably wondering, like, why Zoro's we heard that he was just a pirate, like, killer.
He was just a bounty hunter.
Like, he was just a bounty hunter and a mercenary. So why did he get arrested? What did he do? And then while he was talking to Luffy, he's like, "No, I'm not going to join you." He called pirates crooks. So, like, what did he do, basically? And then we find out that it's just because of this stupid, freaking crooky kid had some pet wolf that was going to hurt the little girl. And then Zoro just steps in and goes,
yeah. Like, nah.
Nope, we're not doing that.
So it cuts to them talking, and they're all mad about it. And then we see this dumbass, bowl cut, double chin, having ass motherfucker come strolling down the street, literally making all the citizens bow in front of him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes, "I'm gonna publicly execute Zoro in 3 days. I'll use him to set an example." Luffy hears that, gets mad, and just walks up, decks Helmeppo right in the fucking face.
Punches him.
Punches him. And Kobe's trying to calm Zoro. calm Luffy down, and he goes, "Kobe, I've decided. I'm gonna ask Zoro to join me." Because it may not have worked the first time, but by God, it will work the second time.
If it doesn't work, we'll just blackmail him into joining us.
Stonks.
Stonks, indeed.
So that's a wrap on chapter 3.
In my notes, I wrote down for the end of the chapter, quote, Luffy dunks on Helmeppo.
I love it. Which, an interesting thing about this chapter compared to the other two, this was our first chapter of, it's way more like talking and story building than action.
There was no fighting until the very end. And if you can call it like a fight.
That wasn't a fight. That was a slaughter.
That was a massacre is what it was.
That was a slaughter. That was a slobber knocker.
And it was more reinforcing of like kind of like the looks are deceiving kind of vibe that this guy that this pirate mentioned about, he's like some evil aura radiating mercenary that everybody's like spooked.
And he literally saved the little girl from a wolf.
And the reason why he's arrested, he's like, why is this wolf here? Why are you a goon?
And like I was saying with the bounty things, that is a common trope in One Piece of Oda likes to do this thing where like looks can be deceiving. They're not always, like with Helmeppo. With Helmeppo, for example, he's ugly and
he's a very ugly person.
Yep. But like it's this trope of like just because this person is talked about in such a way doesn't mean that's actually how they are.
Yep.
But let's go on to chapter 4.
Alright, so chapter 4, Marine Captain. It's called Marine Captain, quote, Axe Arm Morgan. So
even though I'm pretty sure they say Axe
Hand Morgan, yeah. I looked it up. This translation says Axe Arm, which I guess, you know, his arm is the axe, but his hand is
literally
the blade part.
Quite literally. And I think one thing that I love about this early thing is just how despicable Oda tried so hard to make Axe Hand Morgan.
Oh yeah.
Like Oda put in the most effort to make Axe Hand as despicable as he could.
So chapter starts out. They're picking up Helmeppo. His lackeys picked him up because his bruised face and he's crying. He's like, I'm Captain Morgan's son.
My dad hasn't even hit me once.
I'll tell him about this.
So the town's freaking out. Kobe's freaking out. You'll regret hitting me. And the little girl walks up. Her name's Rika.
Aw.
Rika walks up and is like, you were awesome. Do it again. And Luffy's like, I should have punched him more than once. And Rika's mom's like, don't associate with them. You'll get us all in. You'll be executed too if you were mistaken for one of their friends. And she's like, he's a good person, and so is Zoro. And the mom's like, no, they're not. Shush. So Kobe freaks out, and it cuts to the Marine base. And the captain's talking, yes, because you are the captain, Captain Morgan. But lately, so apparently the townspeople ain't been able to pay up what they've been told to pay up. Even this random Marine is like, look, people have financial problems. And he's like, no, they're just not giving me money because they don't fucking respect me.
So the first thing we see of this man, besides him just puffing a pipe, he's got a cigarette in his mouth. He's like, I am great, as he's just looking out on the town. With
emphasis kanji to fucking back it up, by the way.
And then so Helmeppo like dashes in. He's like, Dad! And he's like, what's the matter, Helmeppo? He's like, I want you to kill someone for me. Yeah. And then we flash back. We just zoom over here to just Luffy. Yo.
Casually walking up. Yo.
So now
was like, I'm not gonna be a fucking pirate. Leave me alone.
So Luffy's jumped over the wall. He's like, look, I'm gonna if I loosen up the ropes, you're gonna join me, okay? And Zoro's like, I told you. He's like, I have things I need to do. He tells him like, he's like, I haven't done one thing that I regretted in the past, and it will be the same for the future.
I won't become a pirate. He tells Luffy again. Hey, I heard you use katanas, right? He's like, yeah, why? So Luffy tells him like,
He's like,
so,
if I return you your katanas, you'll have to join me.
have to join me.
It's like,
And
that's
Zoro's like,
dirty.
that's dirty. But yeah, but Zoro also mentions that one of the katanas is his treasure, the thing he treasures most, more than his life.
Yeah.
Is one of the swords.
And that gets brought up in his backstory later on.
Yep. And so Luffy dashes off, and Zoro's like, "Is he planning on sneaking into the base? What a fool!"
Mhm.
So we cut to this scene of them on the roof of this ugly ass base trying to lift up a statue, and Helmeppo's screaming about why won't he take revenge? Even you haven't hit me once before. And this unit, Morgan goes, "You know why I never hit you? Yes, because you are a bastard son that's not worth hitting." And
he
just punches
him. So that's
in the fucking face.
That's the first line in my notes. So it went from chapter 3 ends, Luffy dunks on Helmeppo. Chapter 4 starts, Helmeppo screeches to his dad dunks on him too, Lamel.
And then we get like the full image. I honestly really like Captain Morgan's design, except for the fact that the handle of the axe is sticking so far out of his elbow. But other than that, like he's like, you can do a lot of things in my name, but I only punish those who oppose me. You are not the great one here. It's your father, me. Me. And so he's like, someone snuck into the execution site, right? The little girl. And he's like, you killed her, right? And Helmeppo's one redeeming thing in this chapter, refusing to murder a child. And fucking, this is when Axe Morgan stuff gets a little out of control. Points at a random soldier, says, "Go kill her." Random soldier's like, "I don't want to kill a little girl." Axe Morgan walks up and just murders a man.
Oh yeah, just boom. He's like, in that case, you have no right to go against my order. If I order you to go, then you will go. You traitors.
Yeah. Which, and this is something that gets brought up. And the rank of lieutenant junior grade is lower than the rank of captain, isn't it? Which, fun facts, like, the Marine ranks are literally, like, the only ones you need to care about is, like, Vice Admiral and Admiral. But let me pull up the One Piece Marine ranks so I can read them off to you real quick. So, Chore Boy is the very bottom. Then you go Seaman Recruit, Seaman Apprentice, Seaman First Class, Chief Petty Officer, Master Petty Officer, Warrant Officer, and now we're in like actual Marine officers, Lieutenant, Lieutenant Junior Grade, Ensign, which we all know what an ensign is. Thank you, Star Trek. Lieutenant Commander, Commander, Captain, Commodore, Rear Admiral, Vice Admiral, Admiral, Fleet Admiral, which is like the highest thing in the Marines. That's the Marine ranking system.
Neat.
But yeah, so calls him traitor, literally murders the man, and he's like, "With this arm I rose to the rank of captain. Rank is the most important thing in the world. Great men don't make mistakes."
Yeah, and then
he's like, "The symbol of my power, a fucking statue."
It's just a statue of him.
Yeah. So they're starting to lift it up. It cuts to Luffy on the ground. And he's like, how do I find the katana? How do I get up there? The pulling, which, by the way, I don't know why in the pull there's menacing kanji.
It's just his face.
Like, do you notice that?
Yeah, I do.
He's like, "You damaged my statue." And so Luffy's like, there seems to be people up there. Just literally throws his arm up, which I wish I understood how the physics of Luffy being able to stay in one place and stretch, like, I don't get it.
Well, it's because he braces the rest of his body, and he just, like, lets his arm go. So his hand is, like, the weight that he throws, and he just keeps himself centered. And then he retracts his body up to his hand.
But we get the first thing of Luffy's second patented move of Gomu Gomu no Rocket, is he yeets himself up into the sky. Captain Morgan's about to murder another man.
Oh, yeah.
Luffy is like, "Oh, I'm going too fast." Grabs onto the ropes, makes the statue fall and break. And Axe Hand Morgan is pissed. And he just goes, capture him, I'm gonna kill him. And Helmeppo's little stupid ass goes, that's him! And so Luffy kidnaps Helmeppo and is like, you're gonna show me where Zoro's fucking swords are, bitch. And they run off into the building. As Kobe is trying to untie Zoro and just gets fucking shot. Bro, is Luffy
Kobe
literally...
gets shot.
Kobe, yeah. Kobe gets fucking blasted.
Kobe's like, it's cool because we had just saw him being so sheepish,
Yeah.
and as someone who didn't like want to oppose anyone, but now he's like, he approached Zoro in here, and Zoro's like, it's like, who is this guy? And he's like, hey, if you're gonna help me, they're gonna kill you too. And then Kobe's like, hey, no, you shouldn't be arrested. I can't stand those kinds of Marines. And he's like, I'm gonna be a real Marine, just like the way Luffy is determined to become the Pirate King. And Zoro's like, what? The Pirate King? You're joking, right? And then Kobe gets freaking doomed, shot right in the chest, and flies back.
Yeah, and then Zoro looks back up menacingly towards where the shot came from.
What a cool shot.
Is we get a panel of Luffy dragging Helmeppo by his chin.
It looks like he's just got him, grabbed him, and just...
Yeah. So, and that's a wrap on chapter 4.
Alright. So, chapter 4 kind of just introduced Morgan, basically.
Yeah.
And how he's just kind of just the worst person. Like, we thought, you know, when Helmeppo comes out, he's like just an awful, sleazy kind of guy. But then we see his dad and how he's actually just worse.
Yeah.
So yeah, fun times. Luffy and a dolphin sipping some drinks. That's my favorite part of One Piece. Alright, chapter 5.
Chapter 5. The Pirate King and the Great Swordsman. So, he's grabbing him by his shirt. Damn, I'm sad. The angle really made it look like you just had him by the chin. It looked like he had him by the throat. Yeah. So, he's like, they're inside my room. We already walked past it. Don't move. Raise your hands. Literally using Helmeppo as a human shield.
He picks him up. And they're like, he's like, go ahead, just shoot. And then we
cut the Kobe.
Oh my god.
Blood leaking from his shoulder. Like, oh fuck, I'm dying, help. Freaking out. And Zoro's like, you good? They're like, you might just want to run. They're almost here. And fucking Kobe, the absolute unit, goes, I gotta set you free. Stands up.
Yeah, he's like, they're gonna kill you in 3 days.
Yeah. And so Zoro gets the big reveal of, like, you never gonna make it a month. He was just gonna murder you in 3 days. That's why Luffy's doing all this, to try and save you. And he's like, if you and Luffy join forces, you'll definitely be able to fucking win. And so, cut to Marines showing up, and they're like, you two betrayed Captain Morgan, die here. And it cuts to Luffy. Is this his room? Alright, I found the katana. And I love this. Luffy's like, but there are 3. I'm just gonna take all of them.
Yeah, he's like, what's wrong? Did you faint? If you just see him foaming at the mouth. Just like,
he's like, oi, which one belongs to Zoro? And he sees, like, the thing going on down. Freaking Axe Hand Nick the Brick Morgan pulls up going, I've heard your name from a long time ago. Don't underestimate before my great strength. You're just garbage. Ready? And I'll let you talk about the flashback.
Alright. So Morgan pulled up, got his goons to just make a freaking firing squad line, aiming down sights right at Kobe and Zoro. And we get a bit of introspective into the mind of Zoro, and he's like, I can't die here. I still have things I need to settle. And then it flashes to his backstory, and it's he's like, I made a promise. And then it shows, you know, tiny small boy, looks like a monkey, Zoro, fighting this little girl who I assume's the same age as him. They look to be like, you know, 12 maybe. And then they're like, Zoro, who used double swords, loses. And so he's sparring with this girl, and he's got my man's dual wielding out here like the best anime edgy pro tag, and he's apparently lost 2,000 times to this girl, and she's like, how pitiful. And then
she even says a boy and so
a boy
useless.
and so useless. That's useless. Japan in one sentence.
Facts.
And then so it sets up that Zoro and this girl have this rivalry. Well, Zoro might have a rivalry with her. We don't know if she's like if he's just throwing himself at her just to prove a point. But everybody's making fun of Zoro because he can't beat a girl, basically. That's the whole idea.
Well, no, actually, no. Everyone's on Zoro's side.
Well, like...
Because it's, hey, Zoro isn't weak. Yeah, Zoro's the best in our dojo. Even when sparring with the adults, he's still very good. And then she's talking all that shit of, is that so? He's still weaker than me. And he's like, damn it. And they're like, you fiend. This woman really makes one angry. Just because she's the daughter of the dojo sensei, she likes to show off. And we get this little bubble of this freaking blonde-haired dude going, but she's a bit cute.
But she's a bit cute.
And then this absolute goony Looney Tune looking motherfucker. You lost again? What a pity. The master of the dojo.
Yeah, the sensei. So he's like, but Zoro, she's older than you. Her name is Kuina? That might be how you pronounce it.
I think it's Kuina.
And then he's like, even adults can't beat me.
People in the comments will correct us.
And then he shouts out, he's like, I want to sail and become the world's #1 swordsman. I won't lose to anyone ever again. Yeah. And then, so that's...
Cuts to nighttime.
We assume that's like his driving force, you know? Like, Luffy wants to be the Pirate King. Zoro wants to be like the world's greatest swordsman.
Yeah,
and then so we cut. It's now nighttime. Zoro pops up in his skin. He's like, duel with me with a katana. I brought real katanas. Because they were fighting with like kendo sticks. And he's like, I have swords.
And she just goes, okay, come on. And we get a really cool panel of them jumping in front of the moon.
Yeah, so they're actually fighting. And then she like immediately like disarms him. And then plants her sword right next to his face. And just, proving a point. She's like, my 2001st victory. Like,
Zoro's all fucking upset.
My man's gone. Like, he's destroyed.
Distraught in the F's in the chat.
And now we get this really weird setup, right?
Yeah,
so she's like, actually, the one who should feel upset is me. She's like, when a girl grows up, she will lose out to guys in physical strength. I'm going to fall behind you people soon.
You want to become the world's #1 swordsman. Papa says that girls will never be the world's #1. What a shitty dad, bro.
Right? Yeah, that's just...
What a shitty dad.
Like, dang. She's crying now.
Crying, yeah. It's good that you're a guy. I want to become the world's best Jew. And then we get this. My chest has started to develop. If only I was a guy. Like, bro,
and Zoro's like, you're telling me all this crap after you beat me? That's unfair. To become like you is my ambition. And he's like, does this mean that if I beat you one day, it's not because of my strength? Doesn't this make me, who's been training extremely hard to beat you, look like an idiot?
Yes, Zoro, it does. Thank you for stating the obvious.
So now he says his promise that he brought up. He's like, one of us must become the #1 swordsman of the world. Let's see who can reach that goal first.
And she literally calls him stupid. Like, you're a person who lost to me. I promise you. This is hard cut to the next morning.
Next morning.
Next morning. Something terrible has happened to Kurita. She fell down the stairs and died.
It just shows a shot of this poor girl laid out, and she's just got a towel, a sheet over her eyes, and the sheet over her body.
Yeah.
And he's like, we both made a promise, and now you're running away. And the guy's like, Zoro, wait, calm down. She's dead.
The master's like, Zoro, bro, chill. That's my daughter. And then he goes, Sensei, please gift me with her sword. I will be even more greater. I will become the world's #1 swordsman, so famous that even heaven will hear my great name.
What a lion.
What a Chad. Zoro's voice, and I quote, does things.
So then we come back to present day. He's like, I made a promise. I can't die here. Luffy yeets himself into the situation. Like, literally grabs from the window.
Rockets out the window. Fire! So, Axe Hand Morgan calls for the fire. Luffy lands, blocks. You see the absolute panic in both Kobe and Zoro's face. Also, where did he get cloth to strap the
I
sword
want to
to
point
his
out
back?
that like these bullets wouldn't have hit Zoro. It would have totally got Kobe though.
Kobe would have been fucking dead, bro. He's like, you,
So-
Luffy's not the Straw Hat Boy. And we get like one of the first cases of Luffy just being super resistant to random things because rubber, of him reflecting the bullets back at everyone. Which I don't think he hits anyone because they all duck.
Yeah, no. They just flies out. Then we get the cool, like this shot of Morgan. His eyes are like, what?
What? And then Zoro screams, "What, dude? Look at Kobe passed out in the panel. What kind of human are you? I'm the one who will become the Pirate King." Cam, we need a ticker that is every time Luffy says, "I'm gonna be the Pirate King." I need it. And he's like, "Hey, I don't know which one of these katana were supposed to be yours, but I brought all of them." And he's like, "All three, because I used 3 of them."
Now that's his gimmick. My man uses 3 katanas. Yep.
Are you the offspring of the devil? Forget it. Rather than just dying here, why don't I accept your request and become a pirate? And that's a wrap on chapter 5.
Alright, so Zoro's backstory chapter. I want to say that I both like and really hate Zoro's backstory.
I love it, but I don't like it for the fact of like the whole stigma of women can't do shit.
Especially in One Piece. That's what sucks.
Especially in One Piece. Like
So I think the idea behind it was that like he needed a reason to make Zoro like leave, I guess, the area and go out and do his own thing.
Yeah.
And so he had to kill off the girl.
Yeah.
But he's like, how do I kill off a child? Like what?
Fall down the staircase.
Yeah, and like I said when I first read it, I was like, bro, this has to be like an abusive household on the down low. Like because, that was a cover up or something.
It had to be a cover up because she even says like the master, aka her dad, would be like, women can't be the world's greatest at anything.
Yeah, that's like that's a little sus, bro.
That's a little sussy baka.
But yeah, so we got that. We got Kobe being a Chad.
Kobe, absolute unit.
So that we got that, then we got Zoro's backstory, and then we got Morgan just killing more people. I guess he's like whatever.
Morgan's like, I'm just gonna murder. Helmeppo's presumably still passed out in the room from shock.
Yep. And then final piece of the chapter, Zoro accepts, and we have Luffy's first crewmate.
Yep.
And
Roronoa Zoro joins the chat.
Probably my favorite character.
It is 100% my favorite character. 100%. So you're not ingrained in like the One Piece online community like I am.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you are ready for the shitstorm that's going to come our way from the Sanji fanboys.
That's bold of you to assume. Anyone will be listening to this podcast.
Hey, always assume people are listening. The government always is.
He's got a point. Anyway, chapter 6.
Anyways, chapter 6.
The first crew member.
Yeah.
Alright, so Luffy basically is just like, yay, I have a companion.
I have people.
And then everybody's like, bro, how did that happen? What just happened?
He's like, how the fuck did he repel bullets? That rascal isn't normal. I didn't know Morgan was from the fucking south.
Rascal.
We're in the East Blue, not the South Blue.
Okay, but like, everyone's basically freaking out. Luffy's trying to get the ropes off him. Kobe wakes up and goes, ah!
Luffy literally failing to untie ropes is hilarious
to me. I feel that on a spiritual level.
Same, I can't untie my own shoelaces, bro.
And then I love like the biggest brain where he's like, he must have eaten one of those devil fruits, blah blah blah. He's like, if guns don't work, we'll use swords.
He's like, damn, this knot is hard to untie it. Kobe wakes up, sees what's happening. Zoro's freaking out. Zoro's just like, give me my fucking swords.
And we get a cool shot of like all the guys ganging up on him.
You can actually see where each blade is being blocked.
Oh yeah.
And I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah, and it just shows that's such a nice action shot. You see the hilts flying around, the rope falling.
Yeah.
Really great.
Yeah, like you can see where each individual blade is being blocked at. Shout out to the one being blocked by the hilt.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Thankfully,
it wasn't much higher up. That'd have hit his hand. Ugh.
Yeah, but so Kobe freaks out. Axe-Hand Morgan's like, the fuck? And of course Luffy's like, that's awesome. Oh, you better not move. You move and I'll kill you. And all the soldiers are literally crying. I already told you I'd be a pirate with you. Either way, after this will be with the Marines, I'll be an outlaw too. But it's okay. I still have my own goals. I'm gonna be the world's greatest swordsman. I no longer care if my name is clean or not. Bad guy, good guy, it no longer matters. As long as my name is known worldwide. If you do something that ends up in the way of my goal, I will have you cut your stomach open to say sorry.
And then we get like, that's just such a cool motivation. Him declaring like, this is what I want to do. I don't care if I have to do it. Whatever it takes, I'm doing it. And then Luffy spits back with like, good, to be the world's #1 swordsman. He's like, since you want to be the Pirate King's crew member, if you can't even accomplish something that small, then I would be very embarrassed as well.
And Zoro goes, well said.
Well
said. I love that interaction. Just like, yeah, you better. I'm gonna be the Pirate King, so you better be the world's greatest swordsman.
He's like, you better do something cool too.
So, he goes, Zoro, duck, Gomu Gomu, no leg sweeper. Which, I think is actually Gomu Gomu, like, whip. I think is the...
Clothesline, I don't know. But like...
But we get another really
like
cool action shot of Zoro ducking and every goon getting wiped out.
My man goes, what are you? I am a rubber man.
A rubber man. Bro, his toes.
His dirty toes. I didn't need to see this.
Dirty ass. Luffy got some dirty ass feet.
You know, Luffy only bathes like once a week at most.
Nah, we actually, hold on. How? This is an actual thing that has been answered. Hold up.
He's looking up One Piece births, bathing statistics.
Yeah. This got answered in SBS.
Oh my god, of course it did.
Monkey D. Luffy, once a week.
Oh my god.
Zoro, once a week. Nami, every day. Usopp, once every 3 days. Sanji, every day. Tony Chopper, once every 3 days. Nico Robin, every day. Frankie, once every 3 days. Brooke, once a week.
Brooke just does it just to do it, I guess. His hair, that's why.
His hair. But yeah. And we get one of my favorite shots of both the anime and manga of Zoro and Luffy just standing there menacingly.
Oh, yeah, that's great. We get 2 of those this chapter.
Hell yeah.
So directly after that, we see like Morgan doing his thing, where he's just this ruthless guy.
Yeah.
He's like,
so they said, Lieutenant, we can't kill these 2. They're too strong. And whoever said that, get a gun and kill yourself. I don't need useless soldiers. That's an order. And all these soldiers literally just square up and put the gun to their head. Like, look at how they're having to hold this awkward ass gun, bro. What the hell do these dumb Marines think they're doing? I am the Marine. Luffy, I am the Marines' worst enemy before going to try to punch Axe-Hand Morgan in the face.
He's like, if you have guts, then execute me.
Yeah. He's like, you have no right to oppose me. So, we see Axe-Hand Morgan swing. Luffy jumps it, and it literally cuts the fence and breaks the wall.
That's like freaking 10 feet the other direction.
Yeah. And freaking, of course, Kobe freaks out about it. And Luffy drop kicks this man, knocks him over, stands up, goes for a punch. And what I think is one of like up there in like really decent action moments is Luffy corkscrewing his body to bring down a kick
right into his face.
Kobe goes too strong.
And then he's like,
Luffy-
some great marine you are, destroyed Kobe's dreams and goals.
Yeah. And then Helmeppo Butt Chin himself shows up and just is holding Kobe at gunpoint. If anyone moves, I'll shoot. Luffy, this is a great speech from fucking Kobe. He's like, Luffy, I don't want to be in your way. I'm not afraid of death. He's like, Luffy the unit, I know. You stupid son. Kobe's not afraid of death. And so Luffy rears up a hit. Axe Hand Morgan rearing up a hit behind him. Gomu Gomu. No pistol. Knocks out Helmeppo. Nice.
Yeah, and then as that's happening, we see Zoro, like, he gets ready to swing because Helmeppo was Luffy's target, but Morgan was getting up to swing at him because he was a distraction. And then full confidence, Luffy slaps friggin' Helmeppo in the face with his fist, and then Zoro yeets in and cuts down Morgan.
And we get a really cool shot of Luffy saying, Zoro! And he goes, leave it to me, Captain. And again, just another fucking really cool shot of Zoro and Luffy.
Oh, yeah. So that's Chapter 6. This is where we're actually getting to a fight. The shonen part of this jump.
Yeah. Which, something I want to point out is Zoro defeated the first big bad of the series.
Yep.
And I think that's really neat from a storytelling perspective, because we've already seen like Luffy do a little bit and do something, so we know Luffy's strong.
Yeah.
Because I don't count Alvida as a big bad because she literally got one shot.
Yeah, it kind of wasn't a defeat. It was, but it wasn't like Morgan's probably really hurting for the next couple of days, you know? That man's bleeding out. Yeah.
So I really like the juxtaposition of letting Zoro take the shining spot here and defeating the big bad, because this whole little arc is about introducing Zoro, wrapping up some stuff with Kobe, and Luffy getting his first crewmate.
Yep.
Any other thoughts on Chapter 6?
No, that's pretty much it.
Okay, let's go.
And so the last arc, last chapter of this arc.
I was about to say, did you time travel and come back and have secrets?
So Chapter 7, Friends.
Friends. And of Luffy painting a
A
bear?
bear. Yeah, it's a bear. The bear with the Jolly Roger.
Can we talk about, real quick, on this artwork, how the blue bird was sitting, got painted, and moved, and fucked up the skull?
Now the skull's got like a crack in it. It looks cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, why was this bear here? Are they holding this bear at captive at gunpoint? What's going on?
Look, we see Zoro in his natural habitat. We see Zoro in his natural habitat, fucking asleep. Fucking asleep. That's why he's your favorite character.
Alright, so chapter cuts open right where we ended. Both Morgan and Helmeppo knocked out on the ground. And then everybody is like, Zoro's like, if you still want to arrest us, come and get us. And all the Marines are like,
we're free!
Long live Marines.
They're like, fuck yeah. What's going on? Seem to be happy. Everyone hated Morgan. Zoro passes out.
Zoro passes out because, my man was exhausted from just being up there for 9 days.
I'm gonna quote Zoro himself, haven't eaten for 9 days, almost starved to death. And
laughing.
then Luffy talks all that shit, then it's impossible for you to last a month. And they're at the little girl's house and the mom's feeding them, and it's real nice. And I love fucking Zoro. You're so scrawny. How can you still eat more than me? And little girl walks up, calls Luffy strong, and he's like, yeah. Oh yeah, what are your next plans? I'm gonna head for the Grand Line. And that's our first mention of the Grand Line.
First mention of the Grand Line. And then, of course, Kobe, he's like, what? You're saying crazy things again. Just you two, how can you enter the Grand Line? Don't you understand? The world's strongest pirates all gathered there. And then Zoro, I guess they told him off screen where he's like, we're going for One Piece. It won't hurt to head that direction. My man Zoro, who doesn't know which way is up, down, left, right, north, south, east, west.
All I can think of is that TikTok I sent you. It's zooming in on Usopp dragging Zoro back from behind the corner.
Not to cut ahead, but that's like one of my favorite parts. And I'm in Skype here right now, and there's just an offhanded comment that like they're trying to figure out where to go, and then Zoro was talking, and then Usopp's like, "Wait, why are you of all people telling us where we should go?"
Yup. It's fucking great.
The meme is that Zoro has no sense of direction.
No sense. You'll see. It gets terrible.
Hilarious.
It gets absolutely terrible.
But
So
yeah,
they're like,
yep.
so they're talking to Kobe, wrapping things up. They're like, we'll always be friends, even if we have to part ways. And they're like, but the two of you taught me to live by my dream. That's why we're heading for the Grand Line. So I love this scene of fucking Zoro bonking Kobe in the head with this fucking
The hilt. Don't.
because he's like, even though you were just doing chores on a pirate ship, you're still a small-time pirate. Marines will gather that information. And as soon as he says this, who happens to show up? Also, why are the townspeople watching?
They're all like in the windows. They're like, bro, it's them.
It's them. They saved us.
So yeah,
But,
so the Marines that were, they literally saw this happen. They come up and, cause they're Marines, they have to actually do their job.
They're like, are you pirates?
And Luffy goes, yes, I just found my first crew member, so that would make us pirates now.
I know, right? And he goes, even though you're pirates, you stayed at town, we're grateful, but since you're pirates, as Marines, we cannot allow you to stay any longer. And they tell him to leave, and they'll be reporting what happened to headquarters, and the whole town is like, what the why? And then so Luffy's like, let's go. They get up to leave, and the Marine goes, and this is a beautiful moment.
I love this moment.
This is a beautiful moment. So the Marine's like, aren't you with their group? And Kobe says, I'm not with them. Please hold on. Is he telling so Marine asks Luffy, and he goes, I know what that guy used to do, and Luffy starts going in on Kobe, like talking about how he worked with Alvida,
Yeah.
how he was on a pirate ship for 2 years. It was a fat and ugly female pirate. This guy spent 2 years there, and Kobe has his inner monologue, and he's like, please shut up. And he just walks up, punches Luffy in the face, and says, shut up.
Oh,
It's such a beautiful moment. Everyone's shocked.
Zero
And then
smiles.
Luffy just beats the shit out of him. Luffy just starts wailing on Kobe. And the Marine stops it. Even Zoro's like, you went overboard. Stop, bro. And he goes, I know he isn't your friend. Please leave this town immediately. And Kobe has this realization of Luffy goaded him into punching him.
Yeah.
So the Marines would believe it. And I love it. It's such a small character moment, but makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Also, can we talk about how Zoro taunting the Marines? Literally walking out, looks at 2 Marines and goes, come on, didn't you want to arrest me?
So then it goes on. It's like some random Marines like, hey, we can't accept this person if we don't know who his past is. And then we get Kobe's moment where so far every key character has had a moment to shout out their dream, which is a reoccurring thing and idea in this series so far, where he goes, I am a man whose dream is to become a member of the Marines. And so he shouts that out. And then he has like for the first time we see him so determined and serious.
Yeah.
And then the Marines he thinks it over.
Properly standing up for himself.
Yeah. And he's like, don't think that we don't know your past as a pirate. He's like, you underestimate our power, which, it goes back to literally what Zoro just said about the Marines. Yeah. They know more, He's like, but I'll still allow you to join us. And he's like, thank you. And then that's like, cool. Because Kobe gets to do his thing now. Yeah.
And so it cuts to Zoro and Luffy leaving. And they're like, yeah, Kobe will become strong. And Zoro calls out how, like, it was a nice act. And so they start leaving. And we hear someone yell Luffy. And they turn around and it's Kobe. literally saluting them, and he goes, "I'll never forget you for the rest of my life." And Zoro even goes, "I've never seen a Marine saluting pirates." And Luffy goes, "Kobe, we'll meet again someday." One of the Marines calls out, "Group salute."
It's like the main
And
guy that's been talking.
yeah, yeah, and they all salute. Kobe is shocked. You have great. He even goes, "You have great friends." Yes, sir. We just saluted pirates and have violated the Marines' codes, so the punishment will be no food for a week. And then Luffy goes, "Yahoo, we're off to the Grand Line." And the narrator, I'll read what the narrator finishes it out with. After the addition of Pirate Hunter Zoro into his crew, Luffy begins his journey once again. But they don't know there are only more and more difficult challenges ahead of them. And then we get a cool shot of, we see Shanks and
Buggy.
Shanks, Buggy, who we don't know who he is yet, but mysterious person, and then a bunch of other pirates, which, by the way, I think literally, because I think this initial shot was supposed to be like indicative of this warlords.
Yeah.
And literally all of their designs changed, I'm pretty sure. But and we see a map that's not accurate whatsoever.
Definitely
I just want to let that be known. And the only one being named as the Pirate King, the legend Gold Roger, left huge treasure known as the One Piece. Everyone in the world is searching on where the vast wealth might be located. You could say this is one of the most dangerous periods of the Seven Seas.
The new Great Pirate Age. My dude.
And one thing I love about that small thing in particular, like this little arc with Zoro, is it shows like, one thing that One Piece does a great job at is showing that not all pirates are good guys, like Luffy and co.
Yeah.
And not all Marines are bad guys.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna think. So that's the end of chapter 7, end of the Romance Dawn arc. Specifically about chapter 7 is that we learn that the Marines aren't just like these tools. Now, there's still like, you know, cannon fodder in the background and all that stuff, but there was this guy, he's just a random dude. He's not like the main big guy like Morgan was, but all of them collectively, they're like, yeah, these guys helped save this town, but we still have to do what we have to do. So they let them go, and then also inducted Kobe into the Marines. So they have like a conscience, their moral duty, but then they also know like what's right and how, even though these guys are bad, they helped save this town when we couldn't help save this town. So we'll like let it slide, you know?
Yeah, and it's a really dope fucking thing in my opinion.
Yeah,
because it's like there's a lot of world building that goes
like
into
it's
One
you
Piece.
know, it paints the fact that not everything is black and white.
Yeah, and that's something I think One Piece continues to do a great job at.
Definitely.
But yeah, so overall, is someone who is newer to the series.
Yep.
Thoughts on the first 7 chapters?
I really like him. So I personally, I'm not a big anime watcher, which is really weird to say in these modern times.
Yeah.
I will watch anime. I just don't like seek out things to watch. I will really only stick to certain things and shows that I know. I do love reading graphic novels and the like, but I've never really I haven't sat down and read too much manga. But One Piece was something I always wanted to try to get into. I just didn't really know how to approach it.
And then I started bullying him more and more about it.
But that's probably the thing everybody really thinks about One Piece, is that like, why should I read it? It's just so long. That's just the meme.
I'm gonna say my counter argument. I say to anyone who says this to me, if you people will watch 700 episodes of Naruto, because both Naruto and Naruto Shippuden is 700 episodes, One Piece isn't that long.
It's bold of you to say that someone will watch all of Naruto with filler included. How dare you?
You know people. You
I
know
have.
I did. Same.
I didn't know what filler was the first time I watched Naruto. I'm like, bro, why are they running? What's this dude doing? Anyway.
Why are they fighting an ostrich? Why does the ostrich know how to use jutsus?
So, I don't know. I probably eventually eventually will watch the One Piece anime. I would love to see, parts animated and stuff. I'm just kind of meh on watching big huge series, but reading it,
Oh
it's
yeah,
really neat because you can just do that whenever, so it's not
yeah.
too difficult. But
And
this is
you know how I am. If I like something, I'll just go read the manga of it regardless.
yeah, which like you should see like the original,
Oh yeah.
because reading that gives you all of what the author really intended. It's not an adaptation; it's the source material.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
as an introduction to the series, I think it did really great. It definitely drew me in. I know it's stereotypical now, but basically Luffy kind of invented the stereotype of just stupid, no thoughts, head empty,
I
pro
thought that was
tag.
Goku.
That is Goku, but uh, uh, but I think Luffy just does it better
Oh yeah.
because Luffy is more charismatic about it. Not saying Goku from Dragon Ball isn't charismatic. He's just he
Like
has it in his own way.
Goku says some shit, and you're like, bro, Goku, you're just fucking dumb.
Yeah, and then
And like Luffy does it, and you just laugh.
yeah, basically.
Yeah. But
But
like I'll give my brief history with One Piece.
yeah,
Like,
so this is a good introduction. It really tells you up front what you need to know about the world. It's not something that'll bog you down immediately. We didn't get bogged down immediately about blah blah blah. This is
yeah.
East Blue. There are 4 seas. Grand Line exists. There's this
Yeah.
thing that goes boom boom boom. Devil fruit. Blah 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 blah. It's not all that. It's just child wants to be pirate king. Stabs himself in the eye. Dudes laugh at him.
What a
pirates.
fucking opening panel.
And it just goes. It has a very nice momentum to it, even though it's long. You don't feel like it's long while you're reading it because it just constantly, it's like a spinning wheel that's going, and you're
Yeah.
really excited to see what else they're gonna do and what they get into.
Oh
And
yeah.
that's my
And
thoughts on it. Also,
but
Zoro's
yeah, like
great.
Zoro's Bay, confirmed. But yeah, like so my brief. I'm not gonna say brief. I've been a fan of One Piece since like what 2018 is I think when I got into it. Trying to remember, because I was out of high school. I don't remember. I think it was 2018. I'm not sure. But yeah, because Wano hadn't started yet.
Oh boy.
We've been fucking Wano for like almost 5 years, bro. Wano's gonna be fun. But yeah, so like I watched all of the anime. I caught up to current, which was I think it was like getting right near the end. And I wanted to like I was so invested I wanted to know what kept happening.
Mm-hmm.
So I just picked it up and initially I just picked up and I started reading exactly where the anime had left off.
Yeah.
And just read forward from there. So like I had read the Reverie weekly and I was reading Wano weekly. And then I was like, okay, now like since I'm caught up, let's go back and read all of the manga. Like just all of it straight up. And that's what I did. And then I've also kept up with the anime. I normally just let episodes build up for a couple weeks and then binge watch for a while.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. That's my little brief history with One Piece.
So your thoughts on Romance Dawn?
Oh, I fucking love it. I think it is a perfect introduction to Luffy as a character. And we get a lot of little character moments that continue to get like builded and expanded upon as the series goes on.
Yeah.
And yeah, Zoro gets introduced, Kobe gets introduced, and like God. I'm just excited because like the more this goes on, the better it gets.
Yeah.
Like I don't even think with what's going on right now in current, I don't think One Piece has peaked yet.
Really?
Yeah, straight up.
That's
a
a bold statement.
I don't think One Piece has reached its peak moment.
Okay.
I think its peak moment will be the final war.
Okay.
That's just my opinion. Like, because there's a lot of cool, like, the chapters we have been getting lately, like 1043, 1044, and 1045, have been the best chapters so far, hands down. But what's going to come after, I think, is going to blow them out of the water. but oh yeah, fucking Romance Dawn it's a perfect introduction. Because you meet Luffy, you get to see his ambitions and his dreams. Like, you get this sense of what he's about. You get a little bit of what he can do. And then, Zoro. Like, Zoro's introduction, peak.
Definitely.
But yeah. But that's, so the next episode will be the Orange Town.
Yeah.
Which is chapters 8 through 21.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. It's gonna be fun.
So, for whoever's been listening this long, we'd like to thank you for, watching, listening.
Thank you for watching this the entire way through.
We should have said this at the beginning, but if you've got any of your own comments about Romance Dawn, One Piece in general, please leave them out in the comments. We'd love to read and see what you got to say, even if you're trashing us for using the colored manga scans or if we pronounce any names wrong. I don't care.
Look, tell us in the comments. We'll read them all.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I personally would love to. But, yeah.
And yeah, if you like what you see, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button. I'm being a nice guy, and I'm doing the call out for it at the end of the video, not at the start. Because now you've experienced the content.
There's no big, giant infographic thing telling you to like and subscribe before you've purchased your product.
Yep.
I hate promoting things, but that's what you've got to do.
Oh, yeah.
I don't care about, like, getting big or anything. I just want to tell people about One Piece. I like One Piece.
Yeah, and same. And... We have a lot of shit actually planned for this.
Yeah.
Like, outside of just doing the manga. And I think what we're gonna, it's gonna take us a minute before we actually get caught up to current.
Definitely.
Well, before he gets caught up to current. I'm gonna stay caught up to current. I read that shit weekly. You can ask them. I blow up the group chat.
You do.
And, but once we get the current, it will change from covering whole arcs to, I think, we're just going to do weekly chapter reviews.
Yeah, well, of course, that way we don't wait until Wano's over to do the entire thing.
Yeah, so...
It might be over by the time we get there, who knows?
Who knows? We don't have a release schedule either,
There's a lot going on, and also, this is just something we're doing on the side.
Yeah.
So there's no hard date on when these episodes will come out, but they will come out.
Yeah, it's me and Cam have a pretty strong bond in terms of when we start something, we see it to the end, no matter the struggle. No matter the struggle. I'm looking at you, random video games.
Yep, it be like that.
It do be like that.
So, yeah.
Just thank you for watching all the way through. And
thanks for watching.
Yeah. We'll see you next time.
This has been the Going Merry
podcast.
And we will talk to you and see you next time.
Hell yeah. We are
on the
cruise. We are. Got a coin in my pocket, and you wanna be my friend. We are
on the cruise. We
are.
I can't tell if that was just latency or we're just really bad at timing.
Both? Boy, I literally will say to your right in a game and you look left. I don't want to hear it.
That's good. That's because I'm stupid.
But yeah, the intro just has to be like the little snippet of wealth, fame, power, and then hard cut to us singing the opening.